Hey guys, my name is Christian Taylor. Welcome back to CreatorMade, where I like to talk about all things branding, marketing, and entrepreneurship. So today we're going to be talking about how to start a freelance business online fast. I think it goes without saying that the world as a whole is facing a massive economic downturn right now. Many of us are learning that there's absolutely no job security anymore, and the job that was providing us stable income for years is suddenly gone. If this is you, I'm sure you're considering your options to make a living and pay your bills from home. You can look for a formal job that lets you work from home, or you can take advantage of the app job market. These are things like DoorDash, Instacart, Amazon Flex, or you can go with the hardest but most rewarding option: freelance work. Doing freelance work means that you set your hours and pricing and work on your terms instead of having a boss over you. But it also means that you only get paid for every job you complete, not getting that stable paycheck you're used to for working a conventional job. But hey, are jobs stable at all anymore? Chances are you're watching this because you're either completely out of a job or you're ready to spin up a side hustle and make some extra money by doing something you love. Before you can proceed with your freelance business, you need to decide what you will offer. This can be anything: graphic design, web design, social media management, video editing, online teaching, photography, videography. The sky is the limit here. You probably have a talent or something that you're really good at that sticks out here, but if nothing comes to mind, you can actually learn a new skill by watching free videos on YouTube and starting out with a cheap rate to get your first few customers. I mean, just about anybody can learn Photoshop these days by just watching videos on YouTube. As you gain experience and your initial customer base is happy, you can get them to write a testimonial about you. And through word of mouth and some social media marketing, you'll start to pick up more clients and be able to raise your rates. So once you've decided what you will offer, you have a skill that you're good at, and it's something you can do from home if that's a requirement for you, it's time to get started and actually build your online presence. Because at the end of the day, you can be the absolute best graphic designer in the world, but if you can't gain exposure and get clients, you won't get anywhere. When it comes to freelance work, there are two approaches you can take. You can join a freelance platform like Fiverr, Upwork, or Freelancer, or you can create your own website for free or cheap using Wix or WordPress. And you can get clients completely on your own through social media marketing and telling your friends. The upside to using a freelance platform like Fiverr is that they've spent years developing the website, so it's reliable, it's proven, and there's already a payment system in place to make sure you get paid for the work you do. Fiverr in particular takes a 20% cut of your earnings, and this is because they essentially provide you with an online store to offer your services for no cost up front. You can just go to Fiverr and list your gig in a few minutes, and anyone who sees your gig on Fiverr can place an order. Fiverr also has a structure in place to make sure you get paid for the work you do. Clients will pay for the work up front, and once you deliver the finished product to your client, Fiverr releases that money to you. So they've already paid and there's no fear of them not paying you for the work you do. Fiverr is kind of like your business manager who keeps things professional and isn't scared to demand payment up front, which is something we'll talk about later if you decide to make your own website and go the independent route. So the advantage to using Fiverr, Upwork, or Freelancer is that there's structure and resources in place to get started as quickly as possible. There's also the chance to gain exposure through the platform as you get positive reviews from clients. Your ranking will start to move up on the website, and eventually you'll get orders from random people you don't even know because they're just going to Fiverr.com and searching for graphic design, and your gig is coming up in the search results. But the disadvantage to Fiverr is that you're letting them be the middleman. They're taking 20% of your earnings. They discern when to release your payment and can hold or revoke your payment if they feel you're doing shady stuff. And you're also on a platform with a bunch of other people doing the same thing. Someone may click on your gig and say, "Wow, that looks pretty good, but they're charging $100 for this, and this other gig over here looks just as good and they're charging $75. On Fiverr, you can definitely come across as just another guy who creates logos instead of having a truly unique space to present your portfolio and your work. And that's where operating independently via your own website comes in. If you want complete control over your portfolio and you want total control over your payment terms, offering freelance work on your own website is definitely the way to go. Creating your own website means that you can create a one-of-a-kind portfolio to represent you. This is your chance to wow a potential client and make a stunning first impression to make them want to hire you specifically. Get the client invested in you and your work instead of just making it a price battle on who can get me a logo for the cheapest. So how can you do this? Well, it's really as simple as building a free website with Wix or building a cheap website with WordPress. I would strongly recommend using WordPress as it's much more polished and professional than Wix, and you can still create a cheap WordPress website for around $4 per month. Now, there are two huge caveats to doing freelance work totally independently. First, you are completely on your own to find clients. If you don't have a decent social media following or a good number of friends who would be nice enough to take a chance on you, you're likely going to struggle doing this on your own. With a platform like Fiverr, you can take the approach of buying the market by offering your services for insanely cheap at first to build a reputation. You can offer graphic design services for $5 and you'll get a good number of random people taking a chance on you because it's so cheap. And then you build up positive reviews, build a reputation, get those testimonials, then you can start charging a normal rate for your work, and you're still gonna get orders from random people because you have something to prove. You've got the good reviews and you've got the stuff to show that your work is worth more. But independently, on your own, no one will find your website even if you are only charging $5. Trust me, you're not gonna win the SEO game short term. While you can get your website ranking on Google, this takes time, a lot of time. So believe me when I say you are truly on your own to find your initial client base. And if you can't do that, don't go the independent route. After you do have your first few clients, my experience is that word of mouth kicks in and you start to get more clients just from your first few clients telling their friends, and then things pick up from there. Now, the second caveat has to do with the payment system. It's up to you to decide what your payment terms are, but most people will feel uncomfortable paying for the entire job up front when they're paying you directly and not a reputable platform such as Fiverr where they know they can get a refund if you try to pull a fast one on them. So what does this mean? Well, you'll either want to do your billing on a half upfront, half at the end basis, or you'll do it entirely post-paid. And then you're trusting that your client is going to do the right thing and pay you instead of ripping you off. Now, I'm sure you aren't worried about your close friends ripping you off, but this becomes a legitimate concern when you expand and get clients you don't know personally. And it's not just the fact of them ripping you off, you simply don't know when you're going to get paid. You might send an invoice and 2 weeks go by and the client still hasn't paid you, leaving it up to you to email them, call them, and chase them for that payment. I've had to be my own collection agency before, and it's not fun. I had to chase this one client for 6 months before they finally paid my invoice simply to get me to stop bugging them. If you feel confident that you can write a good contract for your client to sign, and you like the idea of having your own website and doing things yourself, you can definitely charge more being independent. And you might be happier having total control over things. However, if you'd rather just do something you're good at and get paid and not have to think about it, choosing a platform like Fiverr or Upwork might be right for you. If you go with a freelance platform, it's super easy to sign up and get started, and I'll leave links below to the ones I mentioned. If you're going the DIY route, I would recommend watching my video on how to build a WordPress website on the cheap. And if you're wondering what I use to handle client billing, I use PayPal's invoice feature to create professional invoices to send to them that they can pay easily. PayPal does charge a 2.9% transaction fee, but I think it's it's so much more professional to use a proper invoice system rather than send a client a Venmo or Cash App request. That just seems a little off to me. And finally, for signing contracts, I use and recommend HelloSign. It's free for 3 signatures per month, or you can get unlimited signatures for $156 per year. So what do you guys think? Are you going to use a freelance platform like Fiverr to kickstart your freelance business? Or are you doing it independently via your own website? I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you like this video, do be sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you don't miss when I release new videos. With that said, I will catch you guys next time.